It's Monday, January 13. This is the news on PBCJ. I am Simone Absalom. The U.S. Embassy in Jamaica has categorically denied that Washington wants to extradite a current government minister. In a statement on their Twitter page Sunday, the embassy said, quote, "There is no extradition request or requests for any minister of the Jamaican government from the United States government," end quote. It went on to say that, quote, "The Jamaican government has been very cooperative with the United States government on these matters," end quote. The statement was issued to counter claims on social media that the U.S. government has submitted an official request to Jamaica House for the extradition of a current minister to face legal action for purported acts of criminality. An extradition treaty exists between Jamaica and the United States. In response to a statement from the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica regarding no extradition requests for a current minister, Prime Minister Horace took to social media with this following post, quote, "The operatives who have been carrying rumors and fake news should know that the era of social media is not just for those who would seek to use it negatively. More so, it is a tool for transparency, clarity, and integrity," end quote. Industry and Commerce Minister Audley Shaw has pointed to the decision by First Rock Capital Holdings Limited to offer shares to the public as a mark of confidence in Jamaica's economy. Mr. Shaw was speaking last Thursday at First Rock's IPO investor briefing in Kingston. He cited the country's booming real estate sector as one of the key economic indicators for this IPO offer.
Your focus on the real estate sector is highly commendable, because the real estate industry is one of the lead industries of economic growth right now. In fact, as you look around the island, whether in the corporate area, anywhere you look around right now, the real estate industry is alive and well, and it is vibrant.
First Rock, a real estate and equity investment firm, is looking to raise $12.3 million from its initial public offering, IPO, which opens on January 13 and runs until January 31. Sagicor Investments will act as the arranger and lead broker, with Cygnus Capital, the preferred co-arranger. Human rights will be a major consideration of the government's crime plan. Prime Minister Horace reiterated this at his recent address at the 15th annual Heal the Family, Heal the Nation church service at the National Arena.
We have a plan to reduce crime and violence. The plan is largely on track. In the coming months, you will be seeing rolled out elements of the plan, including the equipment of the police, including greater equipment to assist us with public order and traffic management. And we will continue to use, as far as possible, the zones of special operations and the states of public emergency. We will arrest the crime situation, and we will do it without abusing anyone's rights, because we are a society, we are a government that believes in preserving, protecting, and promoting the human rights of our citizens.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says he is pleased with the progress of work to rehabilitate the main building of the Cornwall Regional Hospital in Montego Bay, St. James. The scope of the work includes the roof, which was done at a cost of $100 million, and the installation of new ventilation systems, which has been completed, as well as gutting and the removal of debris from several floors, now on the way. Dr. Tufton, who visited the Type A facility on Friday, January 10, also met with consultants, unit heads and staff of the hospital to get an update on the extent of healthcare service delivery being provided amidst the project's execution, as well as related challenges being experienced and concerns arising. Based on their feedback and his observations, Dr. Tufton lauded the staff for displaying the level of professionalism resulting in high-quality client service delivery being maintained. Phase 1 construction of the tuition-free school being spearheaded by charity organization Christel House Jamaica is on track to be completed by June. The institution is being built in St. Catherine at a cost of $10 million with funding support from the United States-based parent body Christel House International. The first phase entails building out of the kindergarten block through to grade 6. The development is being executed on a phased basis to facilitate the school's growth over time. Minister without portfolio with responsibility for education, youth and information, Carl Samuda, who toured the project site on Friday, told the media that the government welcomes the undertaking. The Jamaica Public Service Companies says its new 194 megawatt combined cycle power plant in Old Harbour, St. Catherine will cushion the effects of any sharp spikes in the global price of oil. President and CEO of the Jamaica Public Service Company, Emmanuel Darosa, says the new power plant, which is owned and operated by the company's affiliate South Jamaica Power Center, will help to shield Jamaica from volatility in world oil prices. Darosa says the new plant will produce electricity with about half of the fuel that the previous power plants used to generate power. The JPS CEO told the press on a recent tour that Jamaicans should expect a marginal decrease in the price of electricity, depending on the price of fuel. The combined cycle power plant uses natural gas as its primary fuel, and it can use automotive diesel fuel as a backup. Gas retail franchise Rubis now has less than a week to submit a full report on a fuel and chemical spill at its Rockfort facility. According to a release from the company and confirmed by Senior Manager Environmental Management at the National Environment and Planning Agency NEPA, Richard Nelson, this comes after a January 7 incident where the roof of a water tank collapsed at the plant. The water tank is one of 3 close to the western boundary of the sprawling petroleum marketing company's facility. The collapse resulted in damage to fuel and chemical lines. An undetermined amount of 87-octane fuel and a solvent additive called toluene mixed in water formed the total spill. Toluene is a highly volatile chemical used in the paint industry and other areas of manufacturing. It is also used as an additive for automotive fuels. 5 businesses were found in breach of the Natural Resources Conservation Authority Plastic Packaging Materials Prohibition Order in the Corporate Area Parish Court Thursday, as it concerns the ban on single-use plastic bags. Noting that 6 matters were mentioned, the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, said the defendants were the Orient Express Limited, Doreen's Restaurant, Taurus Garden, Azan's Discount Fabric Limited, Kidtopia Limited, and Juicy Patties Limited. The agency said the court handed down sentences of $30,000 or 30 days in prison in 4 of the pleas. In recognition of its record of good environmental stewardship, NEPA said Juicy Patties Limited principals were fined $15,000 or 30 days in prison. The matter is listed to be mentioned a second time on Thursday, February 6. Western Parks and Market Waste Management Limited will be undertaking a massive plastic bottle recycling project in 2 communities in St. James. The initiatives, to be launched on Valentine's Day, February 14, is intended to reduce the volume of plastic bottles deposited at the disposal sites in the parish. It also forms part of efforts to heighten public awareness about the importance of preserving the environment. Regional Operations Manager at WPM, Garnet Edmondson, says that the project will primarily entail scheduled collection and sorting of plastic bottles in the communities which are to be identified. The roadway running from Iron Shore Quebec Avenue intersection into the community of Norwood in northwest St. James has been officially renamed the Dr. Horace Chang Boulevard in honor of the National Security Minister. The ceremony, organized by the St. James Municipal Corporation, commemorated the change, which was held at the roundabout in Iron Shore where the roads intersect last Thursday. Speaking at the ceremony, Montego Bay Mayor and Corporation Chairman Councillor Homer Davis noted that the roadway was conceptualized and built by Dr. Chang in his capacity as Member of Parliament for Northwest St. James. In his response, Dr. Chang said he was humbled by both the honor and the outpouring of love, adding that he was proud of how Montego Bay has grown over the years to now being one of the most influential cities in the Caribbean. Come Friday, the government will be providing free secured internet access, Wi-Fi, in Sam Sharpe Square, Montego Bay, St. James. Mayor of Montego Bay, Councillor Homer Davis, made the announcement at the monthly meeting of the St. James Municipal Corporation on Thursday, January 9. The installation will be undertaken by the Universal Service Fund, an agency of the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology. Other public Wi-Fi hotspots already in operation include Halfway Tree, St. William Grant Park, Olympic Way, Devon House, and Emancipation Park in Kingston, the Cecil Charlton Park in Mandeville, and in Junction St. Elizabeth. Since its inception, the USF has assisted in the provision of internet service through more than 300 community access points around the country. The US dollar on Friday, January 10, ended trading at Jamaican $135.74, up by 71 cents. That's according to the Bank of Jamaica's daily exchange trading summary. The Canadian dollar is being traded at $104.69, down from $105.46, while the British pound sterling ended trading at $174.94, down from $177.12. In regional news, more travel restrictions to Cuba has been imposed by the United States, further unraveling the historic accessibility implemented by the previous administration of Barack Obama. U.S. Secretary of State Michael R. Pompeo, in a statement, said, quote, "At my request, the U.S. Department of Transportation suspended, until further notice, all public charter flights between the United States and Cuban destinations other than Havana's Jose Marti International Airport," end quote. According to Pompeo, 9 Cuban airports currently receiving U.S. public charter flights will be affected, and public charter flight operations will have a 60-day wind-down period to discontinue all affected flights. Pompeo noted that the latest action will further restrict the Cuban regime's ability to obtain revenue. And in other news affecting the region, the issue of reparation will remain on the agenda of regional discourse, at least for a few years to come, as a recent collaboration between the University of the West Indies and the University of Glasgow takes effect. The initiative, which was first announced last summer, will be driven through what is called the Glasgow Caribbean Centre for Development Research. A statement from the UWI last week said it is the first institution within British university history dedicated to the slavery reparations policy framework. The center will be hosted at the UWI's Cave Hill campus in Barbados, where the first Board of Directors meeting was held on December 18 last year. The next meeting is expected to take place in the first quarter of 2020. In sports, we start with football. Coach Lorne Donaldson has announced his resignation from all duties relating to the National Women's Football Program with immediate effect. Donaldson reportedly cited in his resignation letter, quote, The decision is primarily based on the questionable integrity and lack of professionalism within the leadership of the JFF. End quote. Donaldson was in charge of the senior reggae girls team in an interim capacity for the Caribbean leg of the Olympic qualifiers in October last year, following a dispute between former head coach Hugh Menzies and the Jamaica Football Federation JFF. Menzies subsequently resigned from his post. Donaldson's last duty with the national program was a training camp for the under-17 and under-20 reggae girls last month. Hubert Bisbee, the goalkeeping coach in the coaching staff which Menzies spearheaded, was recently appointed interim reggae girls head coach for the upcoming CONCACAF Olympic qualifiers. And over to cricket. West Indies defeated Ireland by 5 wickets under Duckworth-Lewis turn in the final one-day international of the 3-match series at the Grenada National Stadium on Sunday. Scores: Ireland 203 off 49.1 overs. West Indies 199 for 5 over 36.2 overs. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thanks so much for watching.